Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, welcome back to the channel. And today for you guys is a different video, very different actually. I've never really done this before. I figured with Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out, I might as well talk about some other games that are personal to me and that I really enjoy playing. So I figured, hey, I'm going to go through every single game that the first game that I bought for every single rating. So E, E10, T, and M. AO, I know is a thing. I don't have any adults only game. I don't think that, basically to me M is adults only, if you get what I'm saying. Because M is 17 plus, AO is 18 plus. So it's a little weird. It's kind of like this gray area. And then of course you have EC, which is early childhood, which is, like VeggieTales or, PBS Kids type CD-ROM things, So I don't have any of that. But again, I'm starting from E, and then E10, and then T, and then M. So my first game that is rated E for everyone, so all ages, is, of course, my very first game that I ever got. Now, when I was a kid, I did have a lot of those, like, plug-and-play things. So you had, like, the SpongeBob games or the Scooby-Doo games. Tell me in the comments if you had one of those as a kid, or now, whatever. No judging. So it is pretty fun. They weren't bad, but they weren't good. You know what I mean? They were just kind of like, I was a kid. I was, like, 4. You know what I mean? So I don't care. Who cares? It's mindless entertainment, right? But then around maybe when I was, I don't know. What is this? 2006, I believe? Yeah, I'm trying to find it here. Of course, there's no date. I believe it's 2006. A little movie called Disney Pixar's Cars came out. And boy, oh boy, when Cars came out, Jesus, man. Everyone has their phases. Cars was my phase. And to be honest, I'm almost 21. I never grew out of that Cars phase. I love Cars, real Cars. It's cool. But the movie Cars, Cars 2 and Cars 3, my favorite Disney Pixar franchise, I freaking loved Cars, man. I had all the toys. It was amazing. I rewatched that movie so many effing times. I swear to God, I could just memorize the whole thing. And it's still a great movie. I love the Cars trilogy. And as an adult, I still love Cars. It's a great film for all ages. And speaking of that, my nanny and poppy, or my grandma and grandpa, got me a Nintendo GameCube. Which was my first real video game console, right? And the first game I got was Disney Pixar's Cars. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, franchise, that's Xbox 360. And yeah, I rebought this at the exchange for probably like $5 or $6. I don't know. Sadly, this game, the 360 version, this version here, it is not backwards compatible. So sadly, I cannot play it on my Xbox One. I only have 2 games, this and Lego Lord of the Rings. Screw you, Xbox. However, my first version of this game was on the Nintendo GameCube. So I don't have the GameCube anymore. I don't have the game, but that was my first thing. So, man, I spent so much time playing Cars. Of course, it is rated E for everyone. There's nothing. It's just, I think it's comic mischief or something like that. So it's for everyone. Jump into the fast lane, burn rubber in 30 races and mini games. I played this whole game so many times. I knew the races, I knew the songs, and of course one of the coolest things is explore the open world of Radiator Springs. If you guys know me and that I love gaming, I'd say my top 3 gaming genres would be open world, shooter, and maybe racing, I guess. So, Lego games, open world, No Man's Sky, open world, GTA, open world, Just Cause, open world, all these open world games that I love. And of course, all that started with Cars, because you got to play as Lightning McQueen and roam around Radiator Springs and Willie's Butte, which I called Willie's Butt at the time, so I couldn't spell. And it was just so much fun. I love this game so much, and it really is still a great game. If you really do like the Disney Pixar games, you feel like they kind of lost their touch over the years in quality, Cars and Cars 2 are some of the best racing games ever. I haven't played all of the racing games in the world, but they're really fun. Cars 3, Driven to Win, it's good. But it's nowhere near as good as Cars 1 and Cars 2. I did play Mater National and a few other of those, but that was the bulk. I mean, Cars 1, the game, was the bulk of my childhood, really. And it still is. I'm not a child anymore, but you know what I mean. It's still a great game to play, even though I don't have it on the GameCube. So that was my very first game of all time, real game, and my first E-game. So my second is a little bit muddy and cloudy, because it is Lego. What I have here is Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Now, this is not my first E10 game, because I don't have it again. While I do have Cars on a different console, my first E10 game was Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, which was the second Lego game by TT Games, and, the second Lego Star Wars game, duh. But essentially, this is the Complete Saga. So this is the first game and the second game and a few other little gameplay features. This is kind of like the remaster of those. It's rated E10 for cartoon violence, so if you're 10 years old, you can play it until you're dead, essentially. That's what it means. All ages from that number up to when you're dead. So Lego Star Wars, the video game, which was, of course, the first Lego Star Wars game and the first Lego game by TT Games, or Traveler's Tales, that was actually rated E for everyone, for cartoon violence. No, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I just remembered. It was rated E, but it was just rated for violence, which you never see. You never see E for just violence. It's either comic violence, cartoon violence, that kind of thing. So, I didn't say Lego Star Wars video game because it's rated E, and my first one was Cars. So my second was, of course, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. That was rated E10 for cartoon violence. And the reason why I have this is because it's in this game. But essentially, one of my friends from when I was a kid, he had Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. And I remember, I wouldn't say my parents were strict, but I wasn't allowed to watch Star Wars when I was 6 or 7. Or Indiana Jones, or DC, Marvel. I know a lot of kids, and I have an issue with this. I'm going to make a video about this in one time. But a lot of kids, I think, are watching Marvel and DC and Jurassic and all these things at a very young age, which I don't like. I know I'm not everyone's parent, but, I think that if it's PG-13, you should be 13 or sometimes even 14. Or, if it's PG, don't let your 3-year-old see it. That's just me. So I hate it when squeakers play Call of Duty, and I hate it when people are, there's 6-year-olds at Marvel movies. I just don't like that. It's just me personally. I do think parents should be a little more on that. But with regard to that, my parents were very much on that, and I said, Mom, can I play Lego Star Wars? And they were like, heck no. And for good reason. I know it's a kiddie game. It's really not. Of course, it is kid-friendly, but there is, violence and, comic mischief and crude humor and all that. So it is understandable that it's for 10 and up, not, 1 and up, or 6 and up. So it is, ratings are there for a reason. That's what I'm trying to say. And once I turned 10, I played Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, and I remember playing it at my house. My buddy brought it over, and I freaking loved it. And my mom and my dad let me buy it. And then I went to Hilton Head Island when I was a kid, maybe same age, I think. And I played Lego Star Wars, the video game, the first one. And that, of course, buckled in my Lego game love. And, of course, I'm almost 21, like I said. My birthday's coming around the corner. And I still love Lego games. They really are for all ages. And if someone tells you differently, they are wrong. I love the game. It's fantastic. Lego Star Wars 2, of course, it's in a bundle with the complete saga. But yeah, so that is my first E10 rated game. Of course, then I went from Star Wars to Lego Indiana Jones, Cars 2, I don't know, so many E10 rated games that I still have. Most of them are Lego games, just because when you think about it really personally, besides like Nintendo and Sega, not many E to E10 games are really well made, except the Lego games when you really think about it. So I think that's, the bulk of it. But again, just like Cars, Lego itself and the Lego games, it's for every age group, so if you have not played any of the Lego games, don't be deterred. They're not kiddie. They're for everyone. If you're a kid, if you're an adult, go have fun. It's still amazing nonetheless. And that, of course, was my first E10 game, and of course, like I said, that's filed into other games. Now, my first T-rated game, this was... I know I said that, my parents were like, oh, when you turn that age, you can watch that or play that. So I kind of lied, because my first T-rated game, of course, T means teenagers, so 13. Of course, now Fortnite is rated T, but 3-year-olds are playing it, so that went out the freaking window. But when I was growing up and ratings meant something, T meant 13 and up. So 13 until you're dead, right? And my first T-rated game was Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2. I still have it. It's still so much freaking fun. And I still try, when I was a kid, I tried to rip off the Exchange logo, and it didn't work, so it looks like shite. But however, rated T for mild language and violence. So, standard for a 13 to, death. But essentially, I think I played it when I was maybe like 9 or 10. Mainly because, which is kind of weird because, why would I not be able to play Lego Star Wars, but an actual non-Lego Star that's actually really violent? I don't know. It baffles me. I have no idea. But I played it and I got it and it's so freaking fun. I remember playing it with all my friends at my grade school and my other friends. And I still play it to this day. Of course, now I don't play the PS2 version that much. I just keep it for namesake. I do have it on the Xbox 360, which is on the Xbox One via backwards compatibility, or the original Xbox to the Xbox One, which is, of course, I have Battlefront and Battlefront 2. So I have all my Battlefront games, all 4 of them, on the Xbox One. So, this is such a great game. This was the, talk to any Battlefront fan, and this is going to be their favorite one. There's no doubt about it. Now, my favorite is the new Battlefront 2, because I play offline, as you guys know, so I don't have any loot box shite or any of that other garbage. It's just a straightforward campaign, or the mode where you, team deathmatch type thing, and then of course they added the new update where you have the, Galactic Assault Instant Action mode. But Instant Action in this is still so effing cool, man. You can fight as a Jedi and a Sith and a Clone Trooper and battle droids, and it was really the prequels and the originals in one game where you could seamlessly go through different battles. And there were a few campaigns in there, but I don't think anyone played those. I enjoyed the multiplayer modes for what they were. I still play it again, like I said, on my Xbox One to this day. And of course, I believe my first T-rated game, like I said, was this one, Battlefront 2, and then it probably went Battlefront 1. And then I believe my first, like, big modern T-rated purchase was Batman Arkham Asylum. And let me tell you, that took a lot of coaxing. Because I remember my one friend in my grade school gave me Arkham City on the 360 to play. And I remember, if you played Arkham City, the first mission, Bruce Wayne's in the prison, and they're like, oh, you're a bitch, and, they're swearing, and they're poking him, and there's violence and shit. And, of course, that's when my mom dropped the line and said, you can't play that! But, of course, after I got Arkham Asylum, I got Arkham City, and then Origins, and then Knight. And Arkham Knight is rated M for dumb reasons. I don't know why that's rated M, that's completely stupid. But, at the same time, Arkham Asylum was my, big AAA title T-rated game, and of course, like I said, it spiraled onto other games. But again, my first one was Battlefront 2, and I still love to play this day. Of course, 13 till you're dead. So I'm in that age range, so I'm good. All right, so the next one, again, my last one is M for mature, so 17 and up. So once you're 17, you can play it till you're dead. That sounds very sad, but it's true. That age all the way up. So it is Just Cause 2. Now, I got this when I was in high school. Because I even put Xbox One in there, so I wouldn't forget. Jesus. So it is rated M for blood, drug reference, language, sexual themes, and violence. Now, there is blood. It's like jelly. Drug reference, you pick up a little bit of coke and you get money. Big freaking deal. Language, there is no F word. No one says fucking the whole game. It's just damn, hell, piss, bit. It's just like the normal stuff, which is fine. So I don't know why that has to garnish an M rating, but whatever. Sexual themes, there's no can't talk. Sexual content in this game. There's like PG-13 style references, and of course violence. It does not say intense violence. Most M-rated games are intense violence. This is just normal violence. So I don't really know why this game's rated M. I get it. You are killing people, and you can kill innocent civilians, women, adults, women and men. I don't think children. Thank God. You kill an animal. I swear to God. But that being said, I don't think this should have been rated M either way. It doesn't really work. The whole Just Cause series doesn't really deserve to be rated M, but it is what it is. Because I actually just recently played through Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune, I think. I really loved Uncharted 4, and I thought Uncharted 1 was okay. I gave that around a 7 out of 10. It's alright. That's rated T, and it has blood. Like, play Uncharted 1 and play this, and Uncharted 1 has way more blood and gore than this game, which makes no effing sense. It is what it is. So yeah, essentially in high school, my parents were like, no, you can't play Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Call of Duty, any other freaking M-rated game, whatever. And I was fine with it. I was like, oh, whatever, I don't care, whatever. Once I'm 17, I'll get it, or 16, whatever. Now, I wasn't 17 when I got this, and let me explain. Essentially, all my friends in high school had Grand Theft Auto 5, right? GTA 5, GTA 5. You can't go out, like, you couldn't even go to the bathroom to pee about hearing the word GTA 5 out of some kid. Because he thought he was the coolest kid in the whole damn school. Because he played a mature game when he was 7, And of course, that's just how kids are, they think they have to act tough and all that. But it is what it is. And if you went to school ever, you'll know what I'm talking about. You had the kids that were too cool, and they watched the R-rated movies when they were 6 and all that stuff. So it was a whole phase, I guess, they went through. I never went through that phase. I didn't really care. I was just like, well, whatever. I'll play up to my thing, and I'll enjoy it. To hell with it. So once I think I was around 14 or 15, I was watching a machinima video online, or like a Try Not to Laugh gaming, and it was Just Cause 2. And I remember seeing it. And I was like, wow, this looks just like Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4, a little less better graphics and a little more goofy. And it's still rated M, but there's not as much bad thing. GTA 5, you can kill hookers and you can bang people, and there's the F word and the N word, and intense violence and drugs and sex and I do have my issues with GTA as a franchise. I do think they're fun games. However, comparing GTA 5 or 4 to Just Cause 2, 1, or 3 or 4, for that matter, they're completely different M ratings. There's like a soft M and a hard M, I guess. So I remember watching this video, and I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, can I get Just Cause 2? Look at that. It's like stunting. You can play as this guy, Rico Rodriguez, and get on top of Jeeps and flip off and tether things and make shit blow up, and it was this huge thing, And they, of course, they let me when I wasn't 17, around 14, 15. And that was the thing. I played with my buddies all the time, Just Cause 2. It was either car, whenever my friends still come over, we'll play Call of Duty, we'll play the mature stuff, but we'll also play Lego games, and so it's, like I said, all these games are for everyone once you hit that age range. But once I got Just Cause 2, man, it was like crazy. It was like, wow, this is what everyone's doing. And, I didn't feel like a weirdo because I was 6 years old playing Call of Duty, you know what I mean? So that is what it is. But, again, going into Just Cause 2 for the first time, it was 400 square miles. That's freaking huge. I mean, Just Cause 2 is bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5 and 4 and The Witcher 3 and Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, and any game, really. I mean, Just Cause 2, 3, and 4 are some of the biggest open world games ever. Now, of course, Minecraft, Lego Worlds, No Man's Sky, those games are procedurally generated. I think Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall was too, so those don't really count because they're supposed to be endless. But as far as like a fixated open world pixel count, that was definitely the biggest, and still is one of the biggest to this date. Even some new games like Assassin's Creed and I don't know, whatever open world game just came out, they don't have that same kind of huge impact of Just Cause 2, 3, 4, and 1. I think 1 was like 390. But anyway, going back to Just Cause 2 when I was that age, it was so much fun to play because, it was a huge open world. You're playing as this badass Rico. It's kind of B-movie cheesy. You're still shooting bad guys and you're blowing stuff up and there's explosions everywhere and you're tethering things. It really was about the free roam, though. I mean, I would just remember, sometimes I'd go on a rampage and, the cops or the guys in the red, those crazy guys. If you play Just Cause 2, you know what I'm talking about. So I would always fight them and get in these huge battles with my friends, with the cops. I call them cops. They're not police, but I call them that. And, of course, then I'd also just go on these huge tangents and just, simply walk around the desert. I mean, to me, when I play an open world game, a lot of people these days need, a lot of violence to have a fun game like GTA 5. Whenever I see a GTA 5 video, it's always shooting cops, shooting people. I do that. Everyone does that. But when I play an open world game, especially like GTA or Just Cause, yeah, I do those things, but I find myself just free roaming more fun, driving around, running around. Like, I'll play Grand Theft Auto 5 for an hour and just run around. Of course, I break the effing A button when I'm doing it, because Rockstar is stupid with the running animation. I hate that. But it is what it is. But again, Just Cause 2 is a game that you can play really action heavy, or you can just free roam and parachute and, gently glide around. It's a really fun game. And of course, that got me into Just Cause 3 and 4 and GTA and Watch Dogs and, oh geez, so many, guys, so freaking many. So again, those are my games, of course. E, Cars, E10, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, T, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and M, Just Cause 2. So, tell me in the comments from E, E10, T, and M, and if you want EC or AO, whatever you want, please tell me. I'd love to know in the comments what your games were for each of those ratings, if you can remember. If not, just tell me. I'd like to know, and I'll respond to you guys, and we'll have a little conversation in the chat, so please tell me. I'd love to know. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I tried to think of something that was interesting that you didn't see from here before, and hopefully you come away from this video educated on what my childhood was and what my first games were and what that led me to play. But yeah, I loved it. I love these games still. They're great. And, again, they just impacted my love for gaming. So thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.